back to the channel of Proenzo Vids, and Happy New Year, everyone. It is officially 2025. Hope you're all having a great New Year's Day and, partied hard, had a good time and whatever. So that's always the main thing. But, yeah, I'm back here today with another video, but always the annual #1 video of 2025. So every time the new year hits, there's always one video by me about the season. That's the topic of what the video normally is about. The season it is for certain clubs or whatever, which is why this video is titled every club's main goal heading to 2025. So that's pretty much where this video is at, and I'll be going through each 17 clubs' main goal and what they are looking to achieve and what they should be aiming for in season 2025. But as always, please be sure to like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and yeah, hopefully 5k this month. I mean, I'm about, I think, 51 subs away exactly from that goal of 5k. So hopefully this month is the month I reach 5k. But either way, 5k in 2025 sounds good to me. But anyway, hope you all enjoy the video, and yeah, like, comment and subscribe as always. So first up, the Broncos. Well, look, I think for the Broncos, it's very simple and what they have to achieve this year. That's making finals, obviously. I think the Broncos have to be back in the 8 because their roster is obviously too good to miss it 2 years in a row. Even though I sort of felt like they were going to drop off last year because of their grand final loss in 2023 and losing certain players, I felt like that the drop was going to happen last year. But this year, look, I feel like they have to be a lot better, obviously. With a new coach like Michael Maguire, who took the Blues in his first year to the Origin 2024 series, and having Ben Hunt return to the club as well, which will be a big in for them. I feel like just culturally, and also just as a player in general, he'll definitely be big for the young players, especially at the club. So look, them two are big signings for the Broncos. I know losing Kevin Walters, you can say it's harsh or not, I don't know, but yeah, with Madge at the helm, I think he'll definitely bring the best out of a lot of players. But yeah, look, I think the Broncos are a team that should make the 8, in all honesty, but it depends on if they can, sort of go again, I reckon, if you can put it that way. But yeah, look, if Walsh stays fit, obviously Walsh is the key to the Broncos. He's, impactful in every single way when the Broncos are playing well. The big one is obviously Adam Reynolds. Can Reynolds stay fit? I don't know. I have a feeling that this year might be his last year, potentially, with all the injuries he's copped over the years. And it proved last year that it was really getting to him, I felt like. So it's unfortunate, but it's the truth. But yeah, I think the Broncos are a team that have to be back in the 8. I think with the additions of Hunt and Michael Maguire, two players with success and definitely know their way to win. So, look, it's obviously a big year for the Broncos ahead. It's pretty easy to forget last year, I feel like. So, with obviously a bit of changes, we'll see what kind of new mindset they have. So, yeah, I think Broncos fans would be hoping it's a good one. So, yeah, Broncos fans, your goal is to make the top 8 this year and potentially be a dark horse again if you guys are really back at that 2023 form. All right, the Canberra Raiders. Look, their goal for 2025 has to be being more consistent. Canberra, for me, are an extremely talented team. Very physical, strong team. Always have been for the last, 9-8 years now. And have a lot of things going for them, I feel like. Their future's looking very bright. We're signing a lot of, Sky Blues players, like under 20 players they've signed, as of recent, and they're really building a future there. I get that. But with Canberra now and their current squad, it's a squad that I believe can make the finals easily. But what the issue for Canberra is that their consistency really hurts them. There could be 1 week where they beat a team 40-18, or then there could be a time 2 weeks later where they lose to a team 32-6 or something. It's just one of those things with Canberra that I don't understand, mentally especially. Must have Ricky Stewart losing his marbles, honestly. But yeah, Canberra are a team that I just feel like should be really up for a lot more this year. Consistency is a big one for Canberra. Like, I don't know what it is about them, but yeah, they definitely seem to have that good week and that bad week, that good week and that bad week. And then there's a stage where they win a couple of games in a row, but then after like maybe 4 good games in a row, the fifth one's a really bad one. So they have the team, they have the forward pack. Their forward pack is really strong with Morgan Smithies there. The new signing, Matty Nicholson, will be a great addition for them as well. Zach Hosking back from injury, Joe Tarpany, Josh Papali'i, bit older now, but still a really big leader in that team. Levi and Tom Starling being the hooker rotation, I believe that will be. Their backline's very talented too, with Kyle Weeks at fullback, and he'll definitely get better under Ricky Stewart's watch, UANC. Jamal Fogarty and Ethan Stranger are good halves pairing. So, and Matt Tomoko is also still there, great player too. So, look, Canberra have the team, and they can definitely be a dark horse heading into this year, in my opinion. But I don't know, it's their consistency that really is questionable for me. Like, if they can stay consistent and win games and just not, I don't know, I guess go out of games that they're supposed to win and whatever. Since they have a lot of times last year, then I feel like Canberra, I can take them more seriously. But they're a very talented team, Canberra. But yeah, being consistent, that's their big one heading into 2025. All right, the Bulldogs and their goal for 2025. I feel like for the Bulldogs, it has to be avoid second-year syndrome for one, but also make the finals yet again. I feel like the Bulldogs are a very well-rounded team. Great forward pack. Maybe could add another big prop to their team, probably, but it's a pretty good forward pack when you got guys like Max King, who's very consistent, Tupanua, a new pickup for the club, Kick-Out Preston, Sam Hughes, who's very underrated. Look, their forward pack is very solid, and I think because it's mostly the same, it should go up another level in 2025. The Bulldogs have had no real losses apart from probably Addo Carr, I think, because Addo Carr is probably the only big blow they've had. But they've replaced him pretty well, so it's not really a big blow, but they've replaced him well with Blake Wilson being already a backup winger there, Marcelo Montoya and Anari Tawala, 2 pickups they've signed. So yeah, the Bulldogs for me, they should be going for the top 8 yet again. I think, with Crichton as the captain and the way they sort of turned their season around, or turned the last couple of years around actually, in 2024, and the way they played that year was just really incredible to see. I think the Bulldogs for me, just keep consistent, don't change too much, and just I guess play the same style of footy that worked for them, because they really worked well their, I guess, mobility and their attack really flourished as well, I felt like, which hasn't been the case for the last couple of years for the Bulldogs. So yeah, I feel like for them it's just avoid second year syndrome, and just also do the basics right yet again, because the Bulldogs for me could even be a top 4 bowl side if they find a way to be good yet again this year. So I think the Bulldogs for me are a team that is looking good heading into this year. Yep, I'm going to say it. I think the Sharks' goal for 2025 has to be making the grand final. You can't tell me that this team that's been together for the last 4 or 5 years all together can't make a grand final together, because they definitely can. I feel like with Adam Fanua-Blake's addition now to that forward pack, and already how strong the Sharks pack is with now Fanua-Blake joining, they have to go up another level. They have to go up another level, and I think that other level is to make the grand final. You heard me, and I'm going to say it right now. I think the Sharks can make the grand final this year. I'll give that away as a spoiler, but who knows? But in general, that should be their goal, though, because the Sharks have got a great backline, very strong backline, very powerful forward pack. They've definitely underachieved the last couple of years, I feel like. They've made the top 4 sometimes, but they're very inconsistent against some of the bigger clubs like Melbourne, Penrith, who they can't beat at all, and Roosters when they were up at the top. I guess they still sort of are, despite having losses, but you know what I mean. The Sharks definitely are a team that has all the potential in the world, just needs to, I guess, use it right when it comes to the big stage, because on the big stage, Sharks very shy on the big stage, I feel like, and they definitely are not the same club as what they probably should be, and where they're at with their roster. So yeah, look, that's their goal for 2025. I feel like make the grand final and go deep in finals, because their goal, I guess, for 2024 was to win a final, and that was their first final win in week 2 against Cowboys since 2018. So yeah, they have to go up another level. They're looking good with Fitzgibbon as their coach yet again. Hines, Will Kennedy, Fanua Blake's addition, Hazelton, Blake Brayley. It's a good mix of players there, so I feel like there's no excuses for the Sharks, and I feel like a grand final appearance has to be on the radar. Alright, the goal for the Dolphins in 2025 has to be avoiding the post-Wayne Bennett failure, meaning that every club that Wayne Bennett's left, pretty much, they've struggled to be the same since he was last there. I know Dolphins have not made finals yet in their, 2-year tenure. It's going to be this year. But still, Dolphins have not really hit rock bottom like wooden spoon type areas yet. So that's where I feel like, hopefully the Dolphins don't reach that stage once Wayne's now gone. They've got Christian Wolf, who's a pretty good coach. Won a couple of comps with St. Helens in the Super League, and is a quality coach overall for Tonga. He's proven that. But Dolphins also have another goal of making the finals, I feel like, which is everyone's goal, obviously. But I feel like this one's a bit more reasonable just because, based on history, every club that has had Wayne Bennett as their coach leave, they've struggled big time. Dolphins have a great team. Their backline's full of speed with Hammer, Jack Bostock. It's a team full of speed and a lot of stamina, skill with Herbie Farnworth, Jack Averillo as well. Their forward pack's pretty solid with the addition of Daniel Saifidi. Dolphins have a lot of talent. I just don't know they're a real competitor just yet, but certainly a team that I feel like can make the 8. But I think it's really about what they can do and how they can keep getting better because, I'm sure they'll want to make the finals eventually, especially since they haven't made it yet in their time in the game. So, we'll see if it's this year or not. But I think Dolphins fans would be hoping it's this year. But, that's their goal for the Dolphins, actually. All right, the goal for the Gold Coast Titans. I believe for the Titans, they have to make the 8. I think with Des and his second year at the club, I think the Titans are now expecting some success to kick in for 2025. Not to mention how good their forward pack is as well with Regan Campbell-Gillard's addition. Tino back at full strength, hopefully for his sake, this season. Obviously their pack's definitely one of the best in the comp, in my honest opinion, with Fafita, Tino, Campbell-Gillard, both for more. And you got Josiah Pahulu off the bench if he stays at the club, which he should. Jamin Jolliffe, who's pretty solid. So they've got a good mix of forwards there. Their backline's pretty good as well with Keanu Kinney, Jayden Campbell, Khan Pereira, and all them. Obviously, it's Kieran Foran's, I don't know if it's going to be his last year, but it might be. But, obviously Foran's definitely getting a bit older, so we'll see what kind of influence he has at the Titans still. But, I think Titans' goal has to be top 8. Anything less, and I feel like the pressure's on Des, but I think Titans are at a stage where it's time for them to make the 8 and make a mark in this competition. I guess the concern for me is their halves with Campbell and Foran. I don't know how many wins they can get with them two as their halves pairing for the full year. That's why Carter Gordon's an option to be their 5'8", maybe, potentially, which wouldn't be a bad option, but I haven't really seen much of Carter Gordon yet. But, the Titans for me, top 8 roster ready, I feel like. Obviously there's still little concerns, but that should be their goal, top 8 ultimately. Otherwise, there's pressure on the coach, and I don't know, Titans will be in trouble. All right, on to my boys now, Manly, and their goal for 2025. It has to be probably making the top 4. You can also say making the top 8 yet again because Manly have not made the top 8 back-to-back since 2013 and 14, which is terrible. But hopefully that gets ended this year if we do make the 8. But I think top 4 is the goal for Manly. I feel like this is like last year was a goal that they can definitely build on after making the finals for the first time since 2021. Because Manly have not made finals many times in the past, so that's why I feel like make it last year was obviously a big goal and a step in the right direction. And I can feel like the club is building towards something. Obviously, Siebes has re-signed until 2027, so they believe he'll keep bringing a vision of success to the club, which I do believe he can bring as well. But we'll see how we go. Obviously, Luke Brooks is there for his second year at the club. Will get better, hopefully, with the combo of DCE Turbo at the back, if he plays more than 15 games, will be dangerous, obviously. So, yeah, I'd say, and look, the team's there. Like, the forward pack obviously can be a little bit better, but the back line is top tier, in my opinion, just depending on where we fit 6 into 5, because you can't fit 6 into 5. So, obviously, someone's going to miss out on that back line. Might be Talau, might be Hopewadi, who knows, but the team's there. I think top 4 for Manly has to be the goal, and certainly what I expect anyway as a Manly fan. Alright, the goal for the Melbourne Storm, pretty simple. As the Storm make the finals pretty much every year, I'd say their goal for me would have to be win the comp. Came short to the Panthers in 2024. Look, Penrith were too good in that grand final anyway, but I think the Storm, with now Stefano joining the club from the Tigers, yeah, I think surely the Storm are more primed, I feel like, for a premiership this year. They may not win it either, potentially not, and that would be a nice sight to see Melbourne not win the comp, but I think with their team and just like having the best spine in the comp with Pappenhausen, Munster, Hughes and Grant, that's definitely the best spine in the comp without a doubt. They've got to win the comp soon with that spine, I feel like, and they've got to do something because, I feel like, this Storm team has a window of now till maybe 2027 potentially, or 2026, because, obviously there's a few ageing players, like Munster's 30 now. Obviously, players are getting a bit older in that team. They're definitely all great players still, but that core group, a bit like Sharks, definitely getting a bit older now, but have been together for a few years, so some success should definitely come soon for the Storm. And I feel like heading into this year, they are the strongest team on paper out of every club, so that's why I feel like Storm should be the premiership favourites, which I think they are actually, or it could be Penrith, unless that is Penrith. But yeah, I think Storm's goal for this year has to be win the comp, get their revenge from last year into this year. So yeah, I think Storm's goal is pretty set in stone. Okay, now on to the Warriors' goal for 2025, and I feel like for the Wars, their goal is to definitely be back in that final circle, because their team definitely is good enough to be there. But I feel like more importantly, their real main goal should be about, who's the guy that's going to step up in Sean Johnson's absence, being the 7, like, because they've signed Tanner Boyd from the Gold Coast Titans and have Team Murray Martin as their other 7 option. Luke Metcalf is obviously the 5'8" for the Warriors. But yeah, and there's Jet Cleary, but Jet Cleary is still very young, and I think he's on a development deal anyway, so they won't chuck him straight in. So really, it's about who their main halfback's going to be. I'll be honest, I can't see Tanner Boyd or T. Murray Martin being a real vocal voice in that team, being the leader at 7. I can't see it personally. Metcalf's more of a runner anyway, not like a director or anything, so that's where I feel like the Warriors might struggle a bit in that halves capacity area. But other than that, though, their team's very strong. Their backline, look, I think a bit young, but definitely very talented with Charles Nickel-Klukstad, Tane Tuapiki. That'll be interesting to see what they do there. If they put Tuapiki at fullback for this year, or they put CNK at fullback, maybe. We'll see what they do there. RTS to centre or wing. Their forward pack is still pretty good. The Fisher-Harris signing is absolutely huge for the Wars. They've got Taihu Harris, who's getting a bit older, but still gives good value. Kurt Capel, Murata Niokore. So, yeah, there's talent there. But I think the big one is who their main 7 is going to be. That's definitely very important in this competition to have a good halfback. So that's what the Warriors need. But, yeah, their team's definitely finals worthy. Just depends on that sort of 7 area. Alright, the Newcastle Knights. Now, with the Knights, you can actually argue they've been a bit lucky the last couple of years with making the 8, but it's because their late season form has gotten to the 8, and I say that because you watch them from like the end of maybe round 19 or round 18, they just find form, they really click into gear. Ponga's on a new level, Tyson Gamble or whoever the halves are, Hastings are just playing great footy, then the whole Knights team lifts pretty much at that point. But that's why their goal has to be start the year stronger. They definitely start the year very slow, often the Newcastle Knights, and then by maybe September, August, that's when their form hits. So I feel like instead of leaving it so late, why not make an impact early in the year and really build and start the year well, because that's where Knights, I think, can get better at. Obviously Adam O'Brien's still doing a good job as the Knights coach. I know people were saying that he might be the first coach sacked of 2025, and it wouldn't shock me because I feel like he's definitely a bit vulnerable sometimes as a coach, O'Brien. But he's taken Knights to the finals since he's only missed finals once being the Knights coach since he's taken over. So he's not doing anything too bad, but obviously not really going anywhere either. So it's a big year for the Knights and Adam O'Brien, because I think he needs to take Knights to a higher standard in 2025 instead of just scraping into the 8 and not really making much of an impact. But yeah, I think Newcastle definitely are a team that can definitely start a year better, and I feel like 2025 is the best year to do that. So we'll see how they go. Okay, the Cowboys now and their goal for 2025. I feel like for the Cowboys, losing a lot of experience like Kyle Felt, Jay Granville, Valentine Holmes. Not sure if there's anyone else, but they're definitely losing a bit of quality in their team for this season, and they're replacing it with a lot of rookies, which is not a bad thing, but definitely will take time for all those combos to gel. But yeah, if Cowboys are to back up their good year they had in 2024 and make the 8 this season yet again, it has to be with their rookies really standing up and making a standard for themselves. Like Jackson Purdue's very young, and I feel like he'll be in the team. So he's one guy that might have to really up the ante and really do his job, because I think he'll be replacing Valentine Holmes in the centres, I believe, with the halves being Tom Did and Jake Clifford. And yeah, Clifford's another guy that I feel like has to really step up big time as well. But yeah, the Cowboys have a great team. Like on paper, a lot of talent there. You can tell there's some glaring issues just because of the experience they've lost with Felt and Holmes especially. But their 4-pack's pretty strong still with Cotter, Tamalolo, Jeremiah Nanai, John Bateman going there will be interesting. Carl Lawton brings a lot of versatility from Manly. They've lost him Lukey for the whole of 2025 with an ACL injury, which is so unfortunate for Lukey. But yeah, I don't know. If Cowboys miss the 8 this year, I feel like Todd Payton's under a lot of pressure. So I feel like Payton understands that the Cowboys, despite losing a few players and having some injuries this off-season, have to really still stand up and have a good year. Because, yeah, if they do struggle this season, then I think Payton's out the door, I reckon. So, yeah, we'll see how they go. But Cowboys have a lot of talent, a lot of good juniors up there. But we'll see how they handle replacing all that experience they've lost. But without a doubt, a very talented team. The Parramatta Eels. I think for Parramatta, it's pretty simple. Play finals footy. Their team is definitely looking a lot stronger than what it has been the last 2 years now. Look, no Guffer is going to be different for them. No voice of Guffer at the back. Don't know how big that will affect them. No Campbell Gillard. They'll find letting Campbell Gillard go anyway. But yeah, they've definitely made some good pickups though. In saying that, like Jack Williams, very underrated signing from the Sharks. They've signed Isaiah Iongi to be their long-term fullback from the Panthers, who I really rate highly. Zach Lomax and Josh Adokar are obviously the biggest signings of their club, the club for 2025. So, yeah, we'll see how them two go, especially Lomax. Like, Lomax having the year he did in 2024 for the Dragons. He'll come to the Parramatta team really looking forward to backing up that same good year he had last year for this season. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see how Lomax goes as an Eel. Adokar there to prove a point and prove that he's worth, still investing into, despite having a bit of drama at the Bulldogs recently. But, yeah, look, I think Parramatta, that's their goal, play finals. Their team's primed for it already, I feel like, Jason Rolls as the coach, and maybe that might take a bit of time as well, potentially with Rolls being the coach and still probably learning the team still and whatever. Maybe not, but he's a rookie coach, so you can't expect much from him in his first year. But, yeah, I feel like Parramatta have made some good pickups, actually, and made some good re-signings too. So we'll see how they go. I think they're in for a better year than the last 2 years, put it that way. Do I really have to explain this one? I don't think so, but I'll say it anyway. I think for the Panthers and their goal for 2025 is to just maybe go for the 5-peat. Now, every NRL fan but Penrith fans, or maybe some NRL fans, because it would be quite unique and special, experiencing a 5-peat in your lifetime for most people. In this day and age, it's not really common anymore. But nah, look, I think Penrith, I don't want to see them get a 5-peat, but that's their goal probably, to go for the 5-peat and make history. Losing Luai and Fisher Harris makes that ultimately tough, I reckon. But they've replaced them with some alright signings. Like Talangi's going to take time, Blaze Talangi, but he's definitely a player that for the future anyway, and will go well in that Penrith system. Isaiah Papali'i is another good pickup, and if he can get back to his Parramatta form, then watch out, because he'll flourish under that Penrith Panthers system, no doubt about it. But yeah, I don't know. Panthers don't really have any goals, to be honest, apart from the 5-peat. So, yeah, if they have a slip-up year, it doesn't even matter anymore. They've already done enough in this competition anyway. But, yeah, I think the 5-peat is simply their goal. But, yeah, very strong team still, despite losing so many players. It's incredible. All right, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Their goal is also pretty simple, I feel like. Make the finals as well. There's no excuses. With Wayne Bennett back as coach, he'll definitely settle things more. And because he's already got such a good understanding of players like Cody Walker, Latrell Mitchell especially, getting the best out of him, and he knows most of the squad still. Obviously, the South's team has changed a little bit since Wayne was last there in 2021. But the thing is, though, Wayne knows a few players there already, but he'll get the best out of every player there just about. Or at least he'll get the players playing for him. Like, obviously, some new signings there, like Josh Schuster, Jamie Humphries, UNA can do a stop from the Super League. There's been a bit of changes there for the South Sydney Rabbitohs. A bit of change, but I think with Wayne as coach, he'll definitely make things a whole lot better there. Culturally, especially, like I think South's definitely lost their way a bit with understanding their winning identity for the last 2 years anyway. But yeah, I think that's their goal, make the 8 and go deep in finals with Wayne. I think with Wayne, anything's possible if Souths and the team do adapt to his playing style yet again, like they used to, because under Wayne, Souths were easily one of the best attacking teams in the competition, probably were at one point. But yeah, can they get back to that stage again under Wayne? Definitely possible. But yeah, I think as a team and as a cohort, it has to be a finals type thing for them coming into 2025. That's their goal, 110%. Anything less is a failure. All right, the Dragons now. And I feel like for the Dragons, it's a tough one because, personally for me, I'm still not 110% sold on the Dragons. They've made some great pickups in Clint Gutherson, Val Holmes, Lachlan Ilias. Made some pretty good pickups in that sort of area. But, yeah, I don't know. I think Dragons are definitely a team that still need to, I guess, show more consistency, first of all, but also just become a bit more of a team where they're taken seriously. And I say that out of all due respect, but because there's been times where Dragons maybe can win one game so well, then the next game can really fail hard. It's hard to explain with them sometimes. I think, like, finals for them is definitely not impossible either, but I feel like under Shane Flanagan in his second season, they'll definitely be a lot better under him, but I'm not too sure if the halves pairing of Kyle Flanagan and Lachlan Ilias can have so much success. I think Lachlan Ilias will be a whole lot better player under Flanagan at the Dragons. I think it's a change that he needed for his mental health sake and also just as a player in general. To be a better player, he had to move from South Sydney. But yeah, I don't know. The Dragons are a tough one. I think there's always potential there. Maybe under Flanagan in his second season, maybe they'll adapt more to his old school mindset and defensive structures better. Who knows? But yeah, good signings though. They've made. Damien Cook's also another one I forgot to mention. But yeah, I don't know. I think Dragons just need to. They just need to improve. I feel like I think Dragons have to make the 8 as well, but with their team or whatever, they could be another year off, especially with Daniel Atkinson on the way as well. I feel like once Atkinson arrives, he might be the real gem that Dragons have been waiting for 2026. But yeah, I think for Flano's sake, he'll need to get Dragons back into the finals as fast as he can. So I feel like that's their goal, just to really improve overall. Right, now the Sydney Roosters. Now, obviously the Roosters have lost a lot of quality, heaps of players. We know that. With Suli, Manu, Hargraves, Tupanua, losing also Terrell May as well, which was also a surprise one in the off-season, but yeah, he's gone. But yeah, Roosters obviously have lost a lot of quality across this off-season. The team's still pretty strong with Linu's still there, Collins, Radley, Angus Crichton, Tedesco's still there, Tupou, so they've still got enough experience and enough champion players to make the 8 easily, I reckon. But the issue for me is that after losing all that quality that have been there for at least the last good few years now, they won't be the same club. They'll definitely take time to adapt without someone like Hargreaves, especially, who's the alpha of their forward pack. Losing the skill of Joseph Manu and Suoliti is going to be really tough to match as well. I can't see Billy Smith, Mark Nawaga-Nitawaze, or Robert Toya, who's obviously a gun but is young and will take time to settle in first grade if he is the preferred starting centre for the Roosters. But yeah, obviously for them, it's going to take a bit of time for them to really, I guess, hit back to where they once were at the top, I feel like. But they've still got a lot of quality, but their halves pairing at the start of the year with Sandon Smith and Chad Townsend, I don't know. Once Sam Walker's fully fit, he'll definitely help a lot, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like the start of 2025 has been too kind to the Roosters, but we'll see. I think in general they've got a team that can still make the finals, but I don't know. We'll see how they overcome all that adversity of losing so much talent. But Robbo, it's a big one for him. And last but not least, it's the West Tigers, and I think their goals are pretty obvious. Main one being avoid the bottom 4 and avoid the spoon. I think avoiding the spoon's the bigger one, obviously, but I think avoiding bottom 4 is also one that would definitely make them feel they've achieved something, because, look, since 2022, they've been the wooden spooners, the West Tigers, so obviously that has to change, and I feel like it will, with signing Jerome Luai and making already some great signings like Royce Hunt, Terrell May, Taruva, few more. But yeah, obviously the big one's Luai. Obviously, Luai is the one that's going to be the one who decides what Tigers are like this season, I feel, because he obviously came to the club claiming that if he was there in 2024, they'll make the finals, which is a big thing to say, especially with how bad the Tigers have been recently. But I don't know, maybe Luai's influence could be a bit like Stephen Crichton's for the Bulldogs, and maybe instantly a bottom dweller club like Tigers can instantly get success with Luai's leadership and being the main man. Who knows? I mean, a Luai and Galvin combination is very exciting, and talk about the whole spine with Buller, Galvin, Luai, and Korosia. That's a lot of excitement there, and I can sense a lot of points out of that spine too. So, yeah, their backline's obviously strong with Olam, Taruva. The other centre position's interesting. Jarrell Skelton's another signing they've made, but we'll see where Skelton plays, wing or centre. I'd play him centre personally, and I'd keep using that young Luke Lauliti on the wing, because there's a lot of good young talent with the Tigers. Definitely talent to look forward to in the future, I reckon, that they must use, I think, for 2025 still. But if Tigers make the 8, then that's the big shock for me, I reckon, because that's overachieving for sure. But if they can finish about 10th, 11th, 12th in 2025, I feel like for their sake, they've definitely achieved something, and Benji Marshall has got that roster to improve big time. But that there is my goals for every club for 2025. Hope you all enjoy it. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and enjoy the rest of your New Year's Day.